the national election approaching, we took to K-State's campus to get an idea of who students think will walk away victorious this election season. And did you know there is a way to make a few dollars from your Halloween candy? We'll fill you in on all that and more. Welcome to MHK All Day. I'm Gretchen Kanan. With Election Day just a few short days away, we wanted to know who K-State students think will win the presidential race. MHK All Day sports reporter Avery Ozen and I went around campus to hear from K-State students and see who they think will win the election.
I think Donald Trump will win because he's the better candidate.
I think Hillary Clinton will probably win the election, but I'm really not for certain.
I think Hillary Clinton will win the election because she has better relations with everybody in the nation and hasn't caused any problems with anyone or any kind of racial slurs or made anybody feel down on themselves. So, yeah.
Even though I don't feel like it's the best for our country, I feel like Trump's going to win it. Just because he symbolizes a lot of change, and it's something that I feel like the U.S. has been looking for. And Hillary, Trump has too, but with the whole email thing, I think that kind of screwed her over. And I don't know, it's a lot harder for her because she's a woman, and we haven't had a woman president yet. So that's what I think.
Donald Trump, and because he's not Hillary Clinton.
It's sad that we're here, in my opinion. I just don't think that a lot of people are going to vote for Trump, nor do I want them to, nor do I want people to vote for Hillary. So, it is what it is, but I do think Hillary will win.
The overly optimistic person in me thinks it's going to be Hillary Clinton because I think while a lot of people understand Donald Trump's message, I think they also believe that he is probably the wrong person to fulfill it. I think a lot of people see him as too extreme. And while I don't think a lot of people like Hillary Clinton a lot more, I think they see her as the lesser of two evils.
If you haven't voted yet and are wanting to vote on Election Day, you can vote at various locations around Riley County. And if you are unsure on where to find your assigned polling place, you can visit the website on your screen at myvoteks.org to find out more information. On Thursday, students and faculty gathered around the Leadership Studies building to hear from 5 current and former K-State Olympic athletes. The panelists included Eric Kennard, Akila Jones, Thane Baker, Ed Brocksterman, and Shade Lawrence. The open forum was moderated by former K-State track and field athlete Jill Montgomery. Montgomery had an extremely successful career as an athlete and is now a commentator for ESPN. The panel focused on being fearless and how to lead a successful life and included a question and answer opportunity as well.
Good job. All right,
Failure is guaranteed always, and success is merely a pending transaction. So if you ask yourself what you would attempt to do if failure was not an option, if it couldn't happen, if it did not exist. And I think that's how you kind of increase your capacity as far as work and dreams and your passions are involved.
From veterans on the sports field to the veterans that serve our country, veterans and military families make up a very small percentage of the K-State student body, but they're trying to make a big impact around campus, especially because Veterans Day is just around the corner. In the studio now is our very own Juan Cisneros with one of these students to tell us about Veterans Day events coming up next week. Juan?
Thanks, Gretchen. Veterans Day is next week, and along with it are several events honoring the veterans living here in Manhattan. For many students, this is a time to thank those who have served. For the K-State Veterans Student Organization, this is a time to shine a spotlight on veterans issues right here on campus. I'm joined now by VSO President Justin Manfred. Justin, thank you for taking some time to be with us today. What is the role of the VSO here at K-State's campus?
So our mission is basically to make sure that our military veterans and military-connected students have the resources, support, and advocacy they need to succeed in higher education and beyond.
Right, so I understand next week, Veterans Day.
Yep.
Big deal for you guys. And you have some special events going on. I know Monday you have a special event.
Yep. Monday we have a guest speaker, David Bellavia, coming to talk to the campus basically about PTSD issues, about coming home from war. We're calling it service to civilian, coming home from war. It's basically going to help our military veterans know that, okay, well, the campus is understanding of what it's like to come home from Iraq or Afghanistan and transition out of the military and start going to college again.
So what time is that, and what?
That's at 7 o'clock in the Student Union on the second floor in the main ballroom. There's about 200 seats available, and there's about 150 left.
All right, great. And as a veteran yourself, what would you say is the toughest part of transitioning back into civilian life?
Well, it's different for everybody else because everybody has their own experiences while they're in and whatnot. For me, I think the hardest thing was coming back. I got out of the military and went right back over as a civilian, came back and transitioned right back into college about a year after getting out. And for me, the hardest thing was going from that fast-paced, quick lifestyle to, college is a lot slower than I would like. It takes a little longer than I would like. So for me, it's the pace and just trying to get through it.
What other special events is the VSO planning for next week?
Yeah, so next week we're going to have a Ask a Veteran booth down in the Student Union where students, faculty can come up and ask military veterans any question they want, anything for $1. And the proceeds are going to go to help our organization raise some money to kind of do the things that we want to do on campus.
And how can students get involved with the VSO, and do they have to be a veteran?
No, you don't have to be a veteran. You don't even have to be connected to the military. We have, I believe, 18 students who are not veterans or not connected to the military in any way who are part of our organization. All we ask is that you just want to help the organization in their mission.
Right. And, going back to, how the transition for you, what else do you guys do to help military members transition back into the...
We start out by pretty much being there on day one with a veterans orientation, where basically when the veterans are going to transition to K-State, we're there to help them out and say, hey, look, this is where you need to take your VA forms. This is where you can go to for the testing center. For me, I have a lot of ringing in my ears, so the quiet of a test room can actually be very distracting for me. You can go to the testing center and pop in some headphones, and they'll have some white noise going through the headphones to help you focus on your test. We take them there and basically show them all the resources on campus that are available for them right away. In the military, it's all about harder, not smarter. And believe it or not, college is pretty much made to where it doesn't have to be hard. The resources are there, and we're just there to help them along on day one and let them know, hey, it doesn't have to be as hard as you think it is.
All right, well, Justin, first I want to thank you for your service and thank you for your time. Now we're going to toss it for a quick look at sports over to Avery Ocean.
Hey, thanks, Juan. The K-State volleyball team took the 4th-ranked team in the country to the wire. Did they pull off the upset? We have highlights. And the football and basketball teams in action this weekend. We preview those games next in sports. MHK all day.
Push us to never settle and to serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition. Passion. You.
From the golden flowers that give our state its nickname, to Kansas City's smoky scarlet barbecue, past the unique tint of limestone bedrock, we drive with pride to support future K-Staters. From the hilltops of Lawrence to the familiar streets of Aggieville, we love to show our purple pride. Whether you are K-State alumni or Wildcat fans, purchase the #1 Affinity license plate in Kansas today and help us paint the highway purple.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you. We may take different paths, but we all move forward, preparing for our future in the same historic library. We meet friends in the bustling student union and experience the exciting atmosphere of campus events. We appreciate individual interests and shared passions. Many different paths, one distinct destination. How does campus life become life experience? Connections, involvement, you.
Welcome back. This is the MHK All Day Sports Report. I'm Avery Osen. Coming off one of their biggest wins of the season this past Saturday, the K-State volleyball team tried to make it 2 in a row this Wednesday night, but it would be tough as they welcome in the 4th-ranked team in the country, the Kansas Jayhawks. Check out the highlights. The Wildcats trying to beat Kansas at home for the first time in 4 years. Brenna Vogel got lots of touches early, but the Wildcats end up losing set number 1. Second set now, how about this placement by Kylie Zumach, making it look easy as she finished with 14 kills. Cats tie it up at 1. Brooke Sassen's turn now as she rifles one. I certainly wouldn't want to be in front of that. K-State loses a third. The Wildcats need to win the final 2 sets as Vogel skies high, and it is finished off by Sassen as the Cats force a 5th set. Kansas dominated the 5th set, though, and won it 15-11. Wildcats did receive some exciting news on Thursday morning as All-American setter Katie Brand was selected to the NCAA Senior Class finalists. She is one of 10 players throughout the country selected. To be awarded, a student athlete must be a senior and have notable achievements in 4 areas of excellence: community, classroom character, and competition. She is a life science major with minors in biology and leadership. She maintained a 3.64 cumulative GPA in her career and is a team captain on this year's volleyball team. Brand moved into second in the program's all-time career assist leaderboard in the rally scoring era as she has 4,586 in her career. You can help Katie right now as nationwide voting is underway, and fans can vote at seniorclassaward.com and runs through December 5th. The winner will be announced at the Division I championship game in December. The K-State football team will look to make it 3 in a row on Saturday as they host the Oklahoma State Cowboys at 2:30 inside Bill Snyder Family Stadium. The Wildcats are coming off a 31-26 win over Iowa State when quarterback Jesse Ertz was very effective with his legs as he had 106 yards on the ground and also threw up for a touchdown pass. Looking forward to Saturday, the Wildcats have won their last 5 of 6 at home against the Cowboys. Oklahoma State has been playing very well lately, though, as they have won their past 4 games and are 6-2 on the season. Cowboy junior quarterback Mason Rudolph has thrown for over 2,500 yards and 17 touchdowns while only throwing 2 interceptions. It'll be a busy weekend here in the Little Apple as the basketball teams are also at home and have a doubleheader tonight as they host Washburn for 2 exhibition games. This is the first game of the season for the women and the final tune-up game before the regular season begins for the men's team. The women will tip off at 5:30 while the men's game is set to start at 8. The Manhattan High School boys and girls cross-country teams both finished on the podium in 3rd this past weekend in the 6A state cross-country finals. Head coach Susan Malgares said to leave with hardware is a great achievement, and the end of the season marks the end of a chapter, but not the end of a book. And Gretchen wanted to get this in as well. The MHS football team will take on Topeka Washburn Rule at Bishop Stadium tonight at 7 p.m. If the Indians can win, they will be in the final 8 in the 6A state football championships, and they are undefeated, so they're expected to win this game tonight. So it's some pretty exciting news down at Manhattan High School right now.
That is super exciting. I'll maybe have to make it out to that game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll be right back after a short break.
I know a spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
We'll carry thy banner high. Long, long, may thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Our community is more than a group of people. It's a place where the golden rule becomes the purple rule. It's recognizing the value of every individual and affirming the importance of diversity. It's freedom to have a different perspective. It's honesty underscored with understanding. It's becoming a piece of the greater good. We are many, we are one. Most of all, we are family. What defines the K-State community? Compassion, honesty, you. Open doors, warm hellos, classes spark ideas, traditions create memories, labs lead to partners, late nights, crazy nights. Hail, hail, hail? Studying hard, hardly studying. One last Manhattan sunset, caps and gowns, pomp and circumstance. We're on this journey together, remembering that every open door can lead to a warm hello. What is the K-State experience? Family, pride, you.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Research is happening all around the K-State campus, and one study in particular is in need of a few students. This is a hunger study which will last the span of 2 weeks, as well as a few interviews. Miranda Klugesters, along with other researchers, are wanting to know more about what students have been affected, want to know more about students that have been affected by food insecurity.
What we don't know about these students are their stories. And especially if it's estimated that about half of students experience this, clearly we're not doing something right. Who better to ask than the students themselves? So this project is centered at getting the voices and the stories of these students, essentially to say, now is your time to share with us your experience of being food insecure. We want to know what it's like, and more importantly, what can we do to help you?
Students wanting to participate in the study must have skipped one or more meals since August due to lack of money or access. These students must have also sought help from supplemental resources to qualify for the study. For additional information, or if you would like to participate in the study, contact Miranda Klugesters at her email featured on your screen. From Snickers to Skittles, trick-or-treating is all fun and games until it's time to visit the dentist. But for one dentist in Manhattan, if you bring those sweets with you, you could leave with a little green. MHK All Day reporter Vanessa Vlasic has the story.
The days following Halloween, children are left with bags of sugar and sweets. Candy may taste good, but the effects that sugar has on teeth can cause major problems. One Manhattan dentist believes that he may have found one solution to the rise in children's cavities.
Candy buyback, it's pretty popular. It's not just here, a lot of places do it across the country, but essentially I think we're giving the kids $2, $3 a pound to bring in their Halloween candy.
Dentistry by Design collects almost 100 pounds of candy from kids each year to encourage them to eat healthier and have better teeth.
Candy may be hard on the teeth, but it can have a sweet outcome. Not only does this program help reduce cavities in children, but the candy is donated to a good cause.
So we've got a few connections with some families in Fort Riley that send a lot of goods and stuff overseas, and then my brother has been over there a few times, and we've put together care packages to send to the troops.
As a veteran himself, Dr. Gilsdorf understands the importance of supporting U.S. troops while encouraging kids to make healthy choices. In Manhattan, Vanessa Vlasic, MHK All Day.
Balancing dental health and holiday fun is a challenge that every parent must face. For more information on this annual program, visit dentistrybydesign.ks.com. Today is the last day to participate. Avery now joins us in the studio with a special guest who is here to give us a sneak peek of a new and growing event here at K-State. Avery?
Thanks, Gretchen. I'm joined now by Rusty, your old committee member of the K-State 48-Hour Film Festival. Rusty, thanks for being with us today. Can you tell us more about what the 48-Hour Film Festival is?
You bet. Well, thanks for having me here. The 48-Hour Film Festival is essentially a film competition, or we call it a film race. It's essentially where teams of students can gather together, and basically they're given 3 mystery items that they have to include into a short narrative film. They then have 48 hours to then write, script, storyboard, whatever they got to do to create this film project. And then 48 hours later, they turn that back in as part of a competition.
What gave you guys the idea to come up with something like this?
About 2 years ago, Donna Hamlin, Matthew Bloomberg, and some other help on campus, we kind of talked about this idea of introducing not just a film festival on campus, because there's actually a number of festivals that happen, but the idea was, could we create some type of a competitive but fun event where students could get together? I had been involved in 2 other film festivals out of state, and I thought it would be a great complementary thing to add to campus.
What kind of experience does someone need if they're watching? Maybe they don't have a whole lot of experience in film or things like that. What are kind of the qualifications to be able to do this?
Well, really, there's no qualifications set in stone. The hope is that within a team, you'll have people that have some basic camera functions, people that can do basic editing. But really, we've had teams from last year that showed up that just wanted to act in it or just wanted to be part of the process. So.
What types of events, this happens in every April, correct? What kind of events kind of lead up to that?
Oh, you bet. So this year, this is going to be a little different than last year. Ours is going to start on April 6th, will be the kickoff date. We're still working on locations, but as far as the events leading up to it, we typically do 6 workshops. And so the very first workshop is actually tonight. It's going to be in Bluemont Hall in number 16 in the Catalyst studio. And this particular workshop is going to be on lighting for film. And so each year we try and bring in some professionals from off campus, people who are professional cinematographers, people that do editing, even people that are really big on story. But we'll do a series of workshops once each month. They last about a half an hour with a Q&A session.
For people that were in this last year, what kind of changes might they see come April?
Well, obviously the required items will change quite a bit, but our hope is that we'll double the numbers this year. Last year we had approximately 13 teams sign up. 10 were able to complete within that 48-hour period. So we hope to have maybe closer to 20 teams this year, if not more. And we think that our level of experience will just keep on getting better and better.
What do someone watching this and they want to sign up for this, how do they go about that? Do they talk to you, or is there something they can fill out online?
You bet. So we have a pretty big social media presence. If you do a search on Facebook, we're at K-State 48 Film Fest. We're on Twitter. If you just do a search on K-State's homepage for K-State 48 Film Festival, you'll find us right there. And everything you need is on the website. So we have forms, we have the dates, we have the training schedules. Everything you need is on that home site there.
What are some of the challenges that you've seen with some of the teams that have competed in this before?
Well, since last year was our first inaugural year, I think the biggest challenge was just finishing up the edit those last couple hours. We had a turn-in location where people had to show up to the library on the second floor at a certain drop-off spot. And I remember waiting there for those last few submissions, and I walked down to a location and there was 4 teams. There was cans of Red Bull and all kinds of energy drinks with people like asleep literally on the keyboard. So
wow.
The challenge is staying awake for 48 hours to complete the film.
Lots of hard work put into those videos, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll be right back here on MHK All Day.
Thanks.
Oh man, the fans, Manhattan, Octagon is doing, it's a tough place to play, we feed off the energy.
Better get ready, because here come the Wildcats.
Wiesman, does she hit a fourth? Oh my goodness, in the zone!
Lewis running the floor, catches, spins, and scores. How about that footwork? K-State have won in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The heart-pounding roar, a sea of purple, wielding twists and turns, a sincere smile and simple phrase. Legacies that span generations, blurring the line between fans and family. Believing we bleed a different color, foundations defined by a single stone. That special place you love full well. What makes traditions unforgettable? Loyalty. Purple. You. The limestone embedded in our history is the foundation of who we have become and what we can become tomorrow. We find inspiration in the past, new possibilities in our present, and anticipation for tomorrow's journey. Yesterday's triumphs are today's proud traditions, A transformation where a hall becomes a home, students become family, and research becomes reality. How do we build upon K-State's strong foundation? Innovation, collaboration, you.
All day, I'm Gretchen Kanan. Let's get to it with this week's community calendar segment. With Halloween in our rearview mirror, the holiday season will be here before we know it. That means it's the perfect time to begin shopping for gifts if you haven't already. Not only can you buy your friends and family members a unique gift this weekend, you can also support a local artist as well. The annual Wrap It Up exhibit is Sunday afternoon at the Manhattan Arts Center. The exhibit is open from 3 to 5 and will display work from 80 local and regional artists. Items for sale range from jewelry to glass to photographs and paintings. The Manhattan Arts Center says many of these items are priced under $100 as well. With Veterans Day next Friday, the Little Apple, Junction City, and Fort Riley will be bustling with activity. The annual Veterans Day parade begins at 9:30 in the morning. Several veterans organizations and businesses from around the area will be in attendance to thank the men and women who have served in the armed forces. The parade is being put on by the Flint Hills Veterans Coalition and begins at the Manhattan Town Center. It will make its way around downtown Manhattan and end at 14th Street. Before that, the American Legion is having a Veterans Day breakfast, and several events will be held along with that parade. Several businesses in downtown Manhattan and around the area will be having free or discounted services to honor the veterans next Friday as well. That's all we've got for this week's community calendar. As always, be sure to let us know of any events happening around the area, and we'll feature it on our weekly segment. Just Salad has made its way to Kansas. The restaurant opened for business on November 1st in the K-State Student Union. This is the business's first time on a college campus. Nick Kenner, the CEO of Just Salad, said the newly renovated Union is what attracted them to come to K-State. The business offered an exclusive VIP tasting of the products. Students and community members are excited to have a fresh and healthier option back in the Union.
You know, when we look at the other options here, they're good options, but they're not necessarily healthy options.
Just Salad was really good. I like that it actually tastes fresh because, like, compared to like packaged salads and just like what we had last year in the Union, like it doesn't even, like those don't even compare.
Don't forget, daylight savings time ends this weekend. Did you know about that?
I did. I'm looking forward to it. Next hour of sleep. How about
I know, right? And then, did you hear about this whole Kit Kat guy
Yes.
deal? How crazy was that? They
was.
filled his car.
Yeah, they filled
with Kit Kats.
6,500 Kit Kats yesterday, and I guess they got a very good turnout of people wanting some free Kit Kats. You can't beat a free Kit Kat.
I know. It was so
give
cool.
me a break. Come on. You
The
can't-
whole lawn of Haymaker was just covered with
Yeah.
people. It was awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week on MHK All Day. From all of our social media platforms, thanks so much, and tune in next Friday for the most recent news around Manhattan and the Flint Hills.
See ya.
This is Channel 8 News.